I do this. I just love this shirt and I feel like a flower child. Anyways, hi, my name is Hannah. Thank you and welcome to my show. I'm your host, Hannah. And first off, I know you probably see my wall empty frames. Don't worry, I eventually will put pictures in them. Until then, they're empty. Anyways, okay, before I keep going, stop, drop, and roll. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram, and like my Facebook page. All the inspiration will be posted on all of those platforms. Anyways, I'm super excited about this next episode and this next guest that I bring on. Her name is Liz. She is one of my great friends here that I've known for a little over a year now. And she is beyond inspiring. I mean, this girl went through hell and back. She was 17 years old. She got into a relationship with a 33-year-old man, led to cancer, led all this junk that happened to her in her life based off of the decisions and the hole that she was trying to fill, essentially. So I'm really excited for her to share her story and for you all to be inspired by her. Anyways, you know the drill. Be part of the conversation, be loved, and be inspired. Oh my goodness. Welcome to the show, Liz.
Well, thank you for having me.
I am so excited to have you on the show because I've known you for a little over a year now. And it's been a great year of friendship with you. I have to admit though, I have like a little bit of an adrenaline rush right now because before you got here, my life was kind of crazy. So I'm a cat mom now.
Fur babies.
I got my fur baby. And so I went grocery shopping, I came in, I was getting ready for you or whatever, and then I went to my bathroom and I have like decorative items. I have these like glass ornaments that I put on top of my my toilet, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, every single one was shattered. Everything was off, like all my decorative stuff that I bought at like Hobby Lobby, IKEA, and then get this, my toilet paper, my brand new roll was completely, I'm just so.
Any way to salvage it?
I did though, I was like rolling it, so if you go,
These are the days that we live in. We're rolling the toilet paper back.
You know that's a hot ticket, that TP.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
You need it.
Comment below, tell me, are you a dog person or are you a cat person? I mean, I love cats, but I really do want a dog someday. Anyways, that was my side tangent.
I'm a dog person, but I'm okay with cats.
Do you have
I
a
just
dog?
don't want one. I haven't since mine passed away.
You need a dog.
I know, but we just got chickens, so I mean.
You did. You got it. That is another bucket list thing of mine is to get a chicken coop someday. I want farm fresh eggs every single day.
They're so good.
Good Lord, my husband someday. I want a zoo. Okay, so Liz, when I first met you, you know, we built a friendship and then, you know, you started opening up to me a little bit about some of your story. And when you told me about your story, I was actually really surprised because you have two beautiful little girls.
Yes, I do.
Beautiful.
I make pretty babies.
You make pretty babies. You and Terrence make lovely babies. And you have a wonderful husband. You have a great family. So when you opened up to me about your story, I was quite in shock, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I said, you're kidding. And my heart in that moment, like almost a year and a half ago when you shared that with me, my heart, I just remember going, oh my gosh, this girl, her story needs to be heard. That was a year and a half ago, and now here we are today, and I'm so excited for you to inspire other women that might be going through what you went through. So give us some background, like where did you grow up, your family growing up, what was it like?
I actually have a very loving family. My mom and dad are still together. That's very rare for nowadays.
Yeah.
My dad is a Anglican priest.
Okay.
And he's very type A personality. It's all about, the rules, following the rules.
Yeah.
And your grammar. And my mom is a hippie. She is all freedom and love, and she's always been able to express herself very well.
Cool.
And so you would think that couple wouldn't do well together, but they do. It's very the opposites attract. They bring out what each one needs out of each other. And I did have a wonderful childhood. We weren't rich, but we never knew we weren't.
Okay.
And you don't really hear that often nowadays.
Right.
They were very good at hiding the finances. I'm growing up now, I look back and go, oh yeah, I guess that was a tiny little shack in the woods that we lived in. But I thought it was a mansion.
Well, when you're a kid, you don't really realize actually the struggles your parents might be going through.
And it's important to shield your kids from that to a point. So I appreciated that growing up.
So you had a great family life.
I did.
You had a great dad who loved you, a great mother who loved you. Your parents are still together.
Yes.
Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit, maybe teen years, early adult, young adult years.
I was a bit of a rebel. I was definitely the priest kid who had to go out and make my own way and show them that I was Little Miss Independent, and I got in a lot of trouble. I did start dating boys when I was really young.
Like how young?
Middle school, a little bit younger than middle school.
Younger than middle school?
I had a boyfriend like every year. I had a boy that I would hang out with. My parents would say they were my boy slave, but they really weren't, because I would tote them around with me and we'd go have adventures. I was always one of the boys. But,
so you really liked male attention.
I did. I needed that male attention from a young age, and I mean, even from being like 3 or 4 years old, there's pictures of me with my best friend, and it's a boy. It was never a girl.
So you started out, your young adult years, craving or loving that male attention. We all do. Us ladies, we do.
We love attention.
We do. Pay attention to me. And then you realize actually you're kind of like almost rebelling.
Yes. I had several boyfriends in high school. I kind of had a different boyfriend every week. It became kind of a joke.
Oh, wow.
Who's your boyfriend this week? And I am, this is going to sound bad, but I am by no means the summer catch of a chick, oh, you're dating Liz, you lucky beast. No. I'm just a very carefree and loving person.
I think you're beautiful, by the way. I think you're beautiful.
And I've learned to love myself now.
Yes,
but at that time, I really I compared myself not just to celebrities, but to my sisters. I had very beautiful sisters. I was the middle of 3 girls. My older sister is gorgeous. She looks like Jessica Biel. She is gorgeous. And my little sister is all things cute and wonderful. And I sat in the middle like,
You felt like the ugly duckling, if I could say that, I can say that.
Oh yeah. I definitely didn't feel like I was going to become a swan. So I had this hole inside me that my dad was very good at filling. He was my dad. I loved him. He was my hero for the longest time. I wanted to have good grades. I wanted to be just like him. Until middle school, I wanted to be a nun because I wanted to join the faith like my dad.
Said no one ever. But no, I'm kidding.
I know.
If you want to be a nun, that's your calling.
I just wanted to be like my dad.
Yeah.
And to join the faith as a female, that was your option. But I realized I had this big hole in my life, and I was a teenager. I was filling it in all the wrong places. I wanted attention from boys, and I did whatever I could to get that attention.
Yeah. Using your body?
Using my body and not in a big way. I've actually always been kind of ashamed of my body. I didn't always treat it the right way.
Right.
And that's my own fault. I've never blamed anyone for that. I made this. It's gorgeous now, don't even. But at the time, I mean, I look back at pictures now and I'm going, I was a really attractive kid. Why did I think so badly of myself?
Oh my gosh.
But it's fed to us. It's spoon fed to us constantly that to feel like something's wrong with your body is just normal. And it really shouldn't be. Right.
Especially with us women.
Right.
I've talked about this before with some of my closest friends, the confidence issues, and that was a big thing for me. I always looked at myself in the mirror and I thought I was short, fat, and ugly.
Same here. And
that was it.
that was all I could see in myself. You look in the mirror and you've got blind vision where you just see everything wrong and you don't even see, well, this isn't terrible actually. Someone loves me. I can say that now.
Right, because you are healed.
Right.
So, okay, now let's go to the really dirty stuff.
Okay. When I was a senior in high school, a little bit before I was a senior in high school, so we're going to track back to when I was 17, and it was right before my summer vacation. Instant messaging was just becoming a really big hit. Yes, I'm that old. And I was on online, and somebody popped up into my instant messages and played this card of, hey, I think you're someone I went to high school with, and do you want to hang out? And I was like, well, I don't really know you. Started talking to him, started a relationship with him. Found out he was 15 years older than me.
15, and you were 17 years
He was
old.
32. Yeah.
You were 17 years old.
Yeah.
And you were dating a 32-year-old man.
Yep.
Okay.
With an 11-year-old son.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Whew. I was closer in age to his son than I was to him.
All right.
And it was a relationship that I went into thinking, this is exciting. I have to lie to my parents because I didn't want them to know how old he was. I didn't want them to know he had a kid.
Right.
So it was the secret I got to keep, and it was a little bit of that adrenaline rush. He went to my prom. Technically, he didn't go to my prom. He crashed my prom.
Okay.
He was the first man I had sex with.
Okay.
Which I had to lie about as well.
Liz, at 32 years old.
And when I turned 32 and I looked back, I was like, ew.
Right, you can't even
so
imagine. Well, you can't
gross.
imagine looking at a 17-year-old boy right now.
No, ew.
No, right. You should. That should be a
Right?
reaction.
That should be a reaction. That was not his reaction. Which, when I looked back, I thought maybe he was kind of a predator. This is a predator mentality.
Absolutely.
And when I graduated high school, I was so much wanting to be independent that I gave him an ultimatum. I said, I can move in with you or we can break up. I should have broken up. I did not. But he said yes. And so I moved in with him.
Wow.
And I walked myself down this stubborn path of a relationship with a man that I shouldn't have been in.
Yeah.
Trying to fill a hole that was there on purpose, but I didn't realize what to do with that hole. He ended up being a narcissist and a predator and
Yes.
abuse. And I had to learn. I had to learn the hard way. There were things I couldn't do. I couldn't touch the thermostat.
What do you mean?
If I was cold, if I was hot, I couldn't change the thermostat, the temperature in the house.
Oh, wow. Just like even the little things like that.
You couldn't use the restroom without asking.
What?
I couldn't take a shower without asking. I could only be in there for a certain amount of time.
He was a controlling person.
And he was very mentally and emotionally abusive. You're not good enough. You can't survive on your own. You're never gonna finish college. You're never gonna do this. And it was just this constant beating into your personality. You're just not good enough.
Wow.
Something's wrong with you. No one else is gonna love you the way I love you. And we had stopped having sex.
Okay.
We didn't have sex after I turned 19.
Okay.
And I mean, that was rough for me. I'm a very passionate person,
Yeah.
and to have something introduced to me and then taken away from me was a way to control me.
when you start feeding that beast, that sexual beast,
right?
we're unfiltered here, okay? When you
Yes.
start feeding into it, your body's gonna want that.
Yep. And he figured that was a way to control me.
Wow.
And it worked. It did control me. There was one night, he had a friend over.
A friend.
And it was another woman. She was supposedly having trouble at work. And he asked me to stay in the guest room so that he could console her and they could talk about work, and so that it wouldn't be bothering me when he decided to come to bed. It was all about him trying to take care of me by having me do that. And I'm just laying in that bed knowing
What he was doing.
what he's doing.
So what was he doing?
He was having sex in the other room.
He was having sex with a different woman.
in the same house as me while I was there. But I had thought so badly about myself that I just accepted it. This was going to be my life. This was what I was going to do. That was
Okay.
it.
So this is happening. Mm-hmm. You decide to break up with him eventually, correct?
I did, yes.
And then tell me what happened afterwards, what you found out.
Oh, it depends on what you're wanting to know. There were several things that happened at once. I found out that I had gotten cervical cancer from HPV, which is a sexually transmitted disease. I was only having sex, or I had only had sex with one person.
But he was having sex with multiple other women.
Right.
And you got this STD.
So he got an STD.
Right.
And then in either oral sex or whatever,
Right.
he transmitted it to me.
Wow.
And so I had gotten HPV, which generally comes out as genital warts, but 1 in 10,000 women get this lucky. That's right, I won the lotto. Cervical cancer. At the same time that I am going in and getting these diagnoses, I am also starting to realize that a friend that has been my friend since high school is actually a really great guy. We were just friends in high school, and he stayed my friend through my bad relationship. My ex was somewhat of a hermit. He hated going out, and so my friend would take me out to the movies. He would take me out dancing. He would show me what it was like to be loved.
Wow.
And so I get this diagnosis, and he is the first person there.
Wow.
He is the first person to hear this information. He is the first person to take me to the doctor, who at the time said, "You can't have kids. After this surgery, you're not going to have children." And you don't hear, like, well, whatever.
Right.
You hear what?
Right.
You just took something.
And your heart sinks, and then you think, what's gonna happen?
Right.
I want a family. Did I ruin it? You're blaming yourself. All of that.
Is this punishment? Is God punishing me for having
Right.
this long relationship with someone? This was 7 years. I was with him for 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah. I stubborned myself through 7 years. And I realized that this guy that was my friend was showing me what it was to really be loved, that what I was in was toxic, that it was wrong, and he rescued me in the worst sense of the white knight. He didn't rescue me in that he took me out of the situation. He showed me that I can get out of it myself.
That's so good.
He showed me that I was worth the attention. I was worthy of building my own self up. And so I got myself out of that situation. I built my boundaries with my ex, and said, no, you can't call me, you can't text me. It's gonna be like you died. Bye.
No, truthfully, you need to sever it. You need to cut it off.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're cancer free.
I am. I had surgery. I never got it back. Woohoo! And I had 2 beautiful girls out of it. When I got pregnant with the first one, I said, God can do anything, and that doctor.
Anything. You're married. You have 2 beautiful children.
I am.
You went through the trenches.
I did.
And I just, you inspire me, and that's why you're on this show, to inspire many other women. So if someone right now is listening and going, I'm in a toxic relationship that is leading you into death, and that's what it is. What do you want to say?
You can get out of it. You may not even see how toxic it is right now. You may just see hints of it, and you're getting this idea that maybe something's just not right. Or maybe I'm just going to stay in this because the narcissist you might be with is your husband.
Oh.
And that's a hard place to be. But I'm sorry that these people are toxic, and they need a lot of prayer, and they need a lot of help, but you don't have to be the one that holds their hand. And if you're not married and you're just dating this person, you're filling this big gaping hole inside you. That big gaping hole that God put inside you, it's supposed to be filled with God. He put that there on purpose. That's what I call my Jesus puzzle piece.
Oh, I love that. A Jesus puzzle piece.
That's my Jesus puzzle piece. It was there for a reason, because I'm supposed to go to him for it to be filled. And the hardest thing that you're going to think of is to cut the tie. That's going to be your hardest step. And you're actually going to figure out that that's going to be the most freeing, blissful step that you take. That moment when you make that decision for yourself, you may be taking a hot bubble bath and reading a book and going, oh man, I'm not doing this anymore.
Right, yeah, yeah.
And you don't even have to talk to them about it. I mean, obviously, if you're married, you have to talk to them about it. But if this is just,
if you're married, you're stuck.
you just gotta have a little more communication there. But if this is a relationship you're in, and you're a young person, even if you're not with an older person or someone who's pushing you to keep away from the people that you love and keep away from yourself and not treating yourself with the love and respect that you are owed yourself, that you need to take that step out and say, I don't need to talk to you about this. This is my self-care. And they're gonna fight you. They're gonna say, no, what you're doing is selfish. No, there is nothing selfish about taking care of yourself. There's nothing selfish about walking away from a toxic person. It's necessary.
It's necessary.
It's necessary, or you will die. You will die inside. And when you lose that, you're just gonna lose everything that's wonderful in this world.
No man can fill the hole that's in your heart.
Nope.
No man. No relationship, no person, no thing.
Nope. My husband didn't fill my hole. He's not supposed to. It's not my husband-filled hole.
It's the Jesus puzzle.
It's my Jesus puzzle piece.
Well, Liz, like I told you off camera, you inspired me to end a relationship that was not my husband. And I mean, you were the one that really encouraged me to. Your story basically gave me that push. So thank you. And if you're listening to this right now, listen to Liz's story and be inspired, because you are just a woman. Alrighty, well, thank you so much for listening today. I really hope you were encouraged. So be part of the conversation, be loved, and be inspired.
Yes.